So The View is so desperate now to get out from underneath the microscope of the FCC that apparently ABC's running ads asking people to speak on their behalf, to contact the FCC and tell them to stop bullying Whoopi.
Yeah, this reminds me of when they were worried about Perlmutter taking over the board.
Yeah.
They made all those stupid things using Disney characters as why, you get the zippity doo on over. So they wouldn't have done that. But you know what I mean? It's like,
oh my God, no.
Jiminy Cricket says you must side with Disney.
Oh my God.
Like
yeah.
Better if they zippity doo on it though.
Or Viacom when they were trying to guilt the kids into
stand
with them with a door.
Pay, yeah.
Like Dora
pay
the
more.
Explorer's, she's gonna die if your parents
Dora hostage. If your parents don't pay more.
Dora's gonna freaking get it. Yeah.
Dora's gonna get it. I love it.
Dora's gonna get it. We're gonna off Dora. So we're gonna talk about this situation and how it's escalating and how we got here. But this I had to share this one. This is coming from The Independent. JD Vance went on The View and got absolutely torn to shreds by middle-aged women. Joy Behar is like 80 years old.
How old's Whoopi Goldberg?
She's like 70 something, I think.
I just love it. Like, so the place is saying he got torn to shreds because, trust us, we're honest journalists here. It's honest journalism. Also thinks that Whoopi Goldberg is a middle-aged woman.
I mean, wow. I guess like 60,
other people, maybe.
60 is the new 20. I don't know.
Well, middle-aged would be like 50?
40,
70,
50, 60.
70 is the new 40?
Yeah. I don't know. Hey, more power to you, I guess. I don't know. We're gonna talk about this. We're gonna talk about the situation we'll talk about Vance actually increasing the ratings because people wanted to watch the fireworks that actually did not happen. It wasn't as spicy as people were hoping for. But I'm telling you, the only reason they brought JD Vance on is because the reason the FCC is looking at them is because they aren't being fair. They're bringing political candidates on from the left, but they're hardly bringing anyone on from the right. And now they're like, well, you're technically not a news show. You're like, you need to be fair. And there is this equal time rule. This whole thing is a huge mess. And what's so weird about all of this, and we've talked about this before, is The View when it started, it was exempt because it was just a bunch of ladies kibitzing around the table about their families and
it wasn't as political as it is.
No, their jobs,
politics, but not like now.
But it was just everyday chit chat. It was kind of like every other morning show, right? Like
it's more like a talk show than it was, a news show.
And it has turned into a very political show over the last couple of years, especially. Everything is political about this show because the ratings, I think, are going up because people, they either watch it because they agree or they watch it because they hate watching it. But either way, it's helping the ratings. But so now they're getting the stink eye from the FCC. We'll talk about that. And Disney apparently is running ads to counter that, which is wild. I mean, this is where we're at. They could just, honestly, if it were me, I'd say, hey, you could spin it off into just being a Hulu thing or a Disney Plus thing and be like, you got to watch it over there. But
then the audience would be more limited.
The audience would be more limited and the advertising probably be a lot more limited. So anyway, let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you get woohoo if you do. If you'd like more Clownfish TV, including spicier episodes we do not post on YouTube, you can go over there. You can go over to more.clownfishtv.com. Check it out. We got a bunch of episodes over there you will not find here. And also, if you'd like to listen to us, you can go to iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to podcasts. Look for Clownfish TV Podcast, and chances are pretty good we're over there. So thank you very much for that. Let's talk about what's going on, then we'll go back to this JD Vance thing. So remind me so I don't forget about it.
I'll forget
Sometimes
too.
I forget. We're like, we're going to go back to this, and I totally forget about it.
I'll
NBC
forget too, so I can't say anything.
Everybody forgot about JD Vance. At least they're not talking about the couch anymore. I don't even know what's going on with. I remember the couch thing. I wasn't paying much attention.
I wasn't either.
I don't really. It's so weird. We don't really pay much attention to the politics outside of it affecting entertainment. Like I don't know. FCC takes aim at Disney's push for public support amid regulatory probes, according to NBC News. ABC stations aired spots urging viewers to contact the FCC and support the network in its fight against the agency, saying its actions threaten free speech.
But if they aren't giving equal time and they are using it as a political platform to promote certain candidates, then it is a questionable thing.
Yeah. So they have a QR code. Wow. Okay, so the
Wait,
on-air...
they're putting a QR code.
They're putting a QR
Heaven's
code.
sakes. Yeah. Wow, Disney, this is sad.
So how this started, was James Tallarico, the Democrat candidate in November's U.S. Senate race in Texas, was on. And then they're like, well, since you're having political candidates on, now you're going to be subject to this equal time rule. And the only reason, I'm telling you, the only reason they had J.D. Vance on, because they definitely did not want J.D. Vance on. The only reason they had him on was to say, look, we had J.D. Vance on.
Yeah, well, because they're like, well, no one else has the balls to come on here. And other people were like, we've been trying to get on there and you guys won't let us on.
No, they couldn't even handle Arnold Schwarzenegger. And Arnold Schwarzenegger's pretty middle of the road, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was
most of us are middle of the road, but don't you know that just means, you're far right because, they said so.
They said so. These lovely middle-aged women said so. They said, the on-air spot, let's see, they had the FCC appointed chair, Brendan Carr, said in February it was looking into whether The View violated equal time rules after this guy went on. Okay. It's on-air spots. Call on the public to petition the FCC to let the viewers decide what they want on their airwaves. Again, the best way to do that is just put it on streaming and they can subscribe if they would like to see these middle-aged ladies take on J.D. Vance. The View has welcomed your favorite guests and cover the issues you've cared about for 30 years, a voiceover says in one of the ads. Now the FCC wants to control who is allowed to appear on the show. Viewers, use your voice. Scan this QR code. You have until July 6th. Addressing the new campaign from ABC, an FCC spokesperson said in a statement Monday, Disney wants the FCC to classify The View as a bona fide news program.
It's not a news program.
It's a fake news program. It has chosen to run a campaign of misinformation to make its case, misleading viewers about the law. That is a choice. Oh my God. Spokesperson for The View did not respond to a request for comment Monday. Under FCC regulations, bona fide news programs are exempt from equal times rules that generally require broadcasters to provide equal opportunities to competing political candidates. This is going to escalate quite a bit, I think, because what could happen is if the FCC really cracks down on them, they could take away their broadcast license.
Yeah. And the thing is, what it started out to be and what it has become are two different things. I'm sorry, but that is the truth. It's something completely removed from what it was supposed to be. And I don't understand the logic that they're allowed to do basically what everybody else. The reason there's rules are in place is there's a reason, because they were deliberately picking sides and they weren't letting people have airtime so that you only heard one side, which is a very, very certain party's behavior as of late, which is why they wanted control of certain social media accounts and stuff like that. And that's why they're so mad now about things like CNN. But if you're a news station, you're supposed to be, treating things equally so that everybody else has a chance. And they keep trying to find ways to get around it. And The View is basically a glorified talk show with opinions and they get guests on, but it's mostly their political opinions. And they've gotten cited several times for bullshit and untrue things. They've had to actually read, things on air.
Yeah.
To take their statements and put it into context and then get sued.
Yeah, it's so weird. They had Sunny Hostin. She looked like she was being, held at gunpoint or something. She had to read a statement from her lawyer because they're being extra super careful. I think they know they're on thin ice. But this is what happens when you blur the lines between, being a political platform and being like a morning show or whatever. Well,
and their opinion masquerading as actual fact.
Right. And if it's part of ABC News, because it was, Barbara Walters, but when Barbara was around, we didn't see there were some heated arguments for sure, but nothing like we've seen now. And since she's been gone, there's been no counterbalance. She used to always make sure that there was at least some
like
kind
devil's
of
advocate or something.
Devil's advocate. Even if she didn't agree with that person, she made sure that there were people from different points of view. And now it's always like 4 or 5 left-leaning people and like one lone conservative who usually gets heckled off the show.
Usually gets bullied, they leave, yeah.
Right. And that's what happens. It got so bad that Raven Simone even left. She's like, hell no, I'm done with this. So they actually got a community note on X over the Carmelo Anthony stuff, which,
Yeah. So what happened was they're basically on there saying, that it was supposed to be, a jury of his peers, which they keep taking it to mean that means that it's going to be a jury made up of black people. And that's not what that means. What that means is, there's going to be a jury of people that are, in your town, your neighborhood, someone in this local that's going to be, they have to go past all this criteria and then not get eliminated for bias, which happened. I guess a lot of people that were of certain races got eliminated for bias. And things like that. And that's just the way it always works. But at the heart of it, they're basically mad that they found him guilty. And their implication is, if it had been a black jury, they wouldn't have found him guilty, even though several people that were also black from his team that were witnesses came forward and gave statements and testimony against him. And that's just the way it is. But it sounds like if it had been an all-white jury and they said he was innocent, that would have been okay.
Yeah, so they were, and that's a whole, again, this is something that they would have talked about it, but it wouldn't have been the focus of the show. It would have been like, oh, hey, somebody got stabbed, this horrible, whatever. Hey, let's have, some recipes and here's what my kids did today at soccer. And here, you know what I'm saying? Like the show has definitely changed. It's become the ABC equivalent of like Rachel Maddow. Right. And I think that's what they're kind of looking at. And look, I don't think.
But they got Community noted for basically that segment because they said that a jury of his peers, that's what that means. It doesn't mean they have to be the same race as the defendant.
Now, just to tell people to get this to show publicly, because it is shown on X, there would have to be a lot of people saying, yes, this is accurate. Yes, this is agreed upon. You can't just throw a community note up and have a handful of people be like, we're going to community note them because we don't like the show. Because people have tried to community note us before. People have tried to community note other people before, and they don't get shown publicly unless a massive amount of people agree that, yes, these are the facts. And then it gets shown. So that means a good number of people said, no, they've actually got this wrong. Not that matter. I mean, they're not going to say anything on the air, and they'll just say, well, it's their opinion. They can say whatever they want to say. But
again, it's their opinion. They can say whatever they want to say. Then you're not news.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just it.
You have to pick a side.
So, speaking of which, this whole JD Vance thing, I mentioned it last week, and nobody seemed to care. To be honest, like nobody cared about JD Vance going on, but it didn't go as badly as people thought. People thought it was going to be a train wreck, and I think they watched it thinking it was going to be this massive train wreck, and it was awkward, but it wasn't like, because they're on their best behavior right now because they know they're being watched, right? Mm-hmm. But they said that the ratings jumped. This is coming from Bloomberg, so this isn't like Fox News or something. They said the audience was the highest since the program's post-presidential election day telecast in November of 2024, and the second highest in more than 5 years.
Dang.
The vice president appeared on the show to promote his new religious memoir, Communion, not to be confused with the Communion book that is about alien abduction.
Yes.
That would be weird. But so now this is coming from the Independent. JD Vance went on The View and got absolutely torn to shreds by middle-aged women.
Not that I saw.
I didn't. It was awkward, but
I mean, he didn't take their crap, but he also wasn't rude. And then they said that afterwards, Behar was even saying, I don't vote, Republican, but I think I could see where he'd be presidential, and that he wasn't that bad of a person. Was basically what she was saying, and then she got in trouble for that too.
Oh my God, because she actually conceded that the guy might be
okay. Reasonable thought is no longer being in the middle and understanding both sides, or trying to be more open to other opinions is considered, terrible and punishable by cancellation, I guess. So
I mean, we've tried to be fair here too. I actually went to a taping of The View pre-pandemic. It was like 2017, 2018, and it was like part of Disney's media thing. And I've said repeatedly, Whoopi Goldberg in between takes was legitimately she was nice. She was good with the audience. She was answering questions from the audience. She wasn't like a prima donna or anything like that. And the impression I got from her was this is kind of a bit she does. It's the show. But back then, even, it wasn't as political as it is now.
And Trump was in office then.
He was. I mean, again, he was like a year into it, I think, when I was there. But they talked politics, but they were also talking other stuff. They had somebody come out doing cooking segments and all this other, But she seemed like she was pretty sane. She didn't seem like she was crazy or anything. That's why I'm like, where the hell did that Whoopi go? And why do we have this person, on this show now? That's just like she's like crazy, right? She acts crazy online. But again, The Independent said his appearance on The View, a show whose audience and panel are predominantly middle-aged women, makes sense. It's well known both that MAGA Republicans are hemorrhaging female voters.
But they keep acting like MAGA Republicans, as if that they're like one word, like one. That's ridiculous. They just be Republicans.
What is okay? So this, you want to talk about news? This surely is supposed to be the de-ickifying of a vice president who has steadfastly been giving women the ick since 2021.
Idiocy?
I don't know. It's
somebody, some stupid Gen Z person.
Oh my god! I got the ick. The ick. Did they bring up the couch? But yeah, it wasn't like a big deal. Joy Behar, visibly unimpressed, asked why Trump had called affordability a hoax. Vance tried to deflect into the Biden administration.
Oh my god!
Talked about inflation.
Taken that it's all deflection and everything else, even though. He answered the questions. He called them out on shit, but he was trying to be nice because he was there for his book.
So they're basically like it was a huge failure, but they got good ratings. I am wondering.
Says it's a huge win. It just depends.
Yeah, the advertisers were like, "Hey, let's get some more Republicans on." Let's get more Republicans on.
The point of all this is the fact that ABC is so desperate.
Yes.
That they are running ads.
Yes,
and on the View.
Please save The View. Only you.
Because I know the only ones that are watching it are the ones who would get their phones out and QR code it. Make it easy.
QR code it. My God. Hey, all you stay-at-home moms and unemployed people, unemployed activists, help keep The View on the air. All right, are we gonna wrap this up?
Gosh, yes, we could have wrapped up a while ago.
Okay, please subscribe. We'll talk later.
Bye.